Last week, we talked about scientifically the best way to gain stage your interface or your preamps to make sure that your guitar DIs are captured as cleanly as possible. And this video is going to talk about how to gain stage within the amp sim itself. There's a lot of misinformation about how to do this properly, but this video is going to give you some helpful suggestions for a starting point so that you can make sure that you're not compromising your guitar tone because of some improper gain staging within your amp sim. And by the way, I also have a free downloadable cheat sheet that has my favorite go-to EQ and compression settings for guitars. So if you're looking for a good starting point or something you can just print off and have with you while you're mixing, go and grab that. There's a link in the description. So for this example, I'm just going to use Bogren Digital's amp knob. If you can't get a good guitar tone with this plugin, then you're doing something terribly wrong. All you have to do is turn this knob up. But you have to make sure your gain staging is right because where this knob is going to change the character, the tone of the amp, depending on how hot your DI track is. Let me just give you a quick example. Let's turn this bad boy on. I'm just going to put the gain, I don't know, we'll set it to 1 because that's probably where it's supposed to be for most things. And I'm just going to turn my DI track down really, really quietly. And let's hear what the gain sounds like. If I keep going lower, right? That doesn't sound that distorted. As we increase the level of this, as we feed into this amp, listen to how the distortion characteristic changes from this lightly crunch sound to like overwhelming fuzzy like distortion where you can't really hear the individual notes anymore. So notice we're getting a way different guitar tone without ever touching the distortion knob on our amp sim. This is what we're talking about when we say gain staging within the plugin. The tonal characteristics of our distortion are directly impacted by the level of our DI track. Because the way these things operate is they have to have a defined ceiling somewhere, and every single one of these plugins is going to act differently depending on what level signal gets fed. And like I showed in last week's video, which I'll put a link somewhere up here somewhere, the sweet spot at which you record your DI can change drastically. So if your preamp operates the best in a lower gain stage or a higher gain stage, you're going to have two different recorded DI tracks that have different input levels feeding your amp sim. And as I just showed, depending on that level of your DI track, you're going to be operating in a different gain structure in the amp. So you can't just copy and paste settings. Unfortunately, there's no universal standard here. Sometimes the developers of plugins and amp sims will tell you what the optimal gain level would be to feed their plugin, but a lot of times they don't mention this. Potentially, the biggest problem is that you might be feeding your guitar DIs too hot to your amp sim and creating just an overly distorted, mushy guitar tone. So this is what I suggest doing. Most amp sims have a pre and post gain adjustment. If your plugin doesn't have this, then you need to adjust the gain somehow before it runs into the amp sim. So for example, you can use anything that basically has a volume fader. For example, this EQ has a output volume knob. We can use this as long as it runs before our favorite amp sim, and then this will allow you to gain stage into your amp sim properly. But because most amp sims have a input and output gain knob, let's just use this for this example. Now, as I showed you earlier, by just lowering the level of this DI track, we were able to take a lot of the gain structure out of this amp. So what we want to do is something similar here with this input and output gain. What I suggest doing is setting the gain knob maybe around 12 o'clock or straight up and down. That way, it's right in the middle of the gain structure within this amp. But we definitely want to start with it turned all the way down, and we want to just kind of creep this up until we hit a sweet spot where we start getting a really nice sounding distortion. So right here, it's starting to sound kind of mushy, and we're actually getting a little red clipping light, so we know that that's probably not a good idea. Red lights are usually bad with amp sims. But I would say probably right about here sounds reasonable. So it's not too distorted. So this is a good spot to stop on. This is when we're gonna adjust our gain setting, okay? So let's dial in a distortion that you can still hear the voicing of the chords. You can still hear the articulation on the pick attack, because those types of tones tend to translate into heavier overall feel when you can actually hear all the articulation in every guitar pick. So let's dial that in now. Right here sounds good to me because I can hear the articulation, I hear the pick attack, and we're still getting clarity in our guitar. Of course, when you're mixing in the context of the full song, you might want to make some final adjustments, but this is a really good starting point. I highly recommend gain staging your guitar amp sims this way, where we put the gain knob at about 12 o'clock and then using the input knob to then fine tune that gain structure in the guitar tone to get a good starting position where we can then finalize our guitar tone using this gain knob. That's going to put the sweet spot right in the middle of our gain knob, so we can then very easily dial in the right amount once we're mixing in context with the song. If you just ignore this and you happen to track your guitar DI super hot, you might feed your amp sim with too hot of a guitar DI, and you might just get stuck with a bloated guitar tone. Some people will recommend setting this or normalizing your guitar DI to a certain level, like let's say minus 18 dB full scale. Let's do that and see what happens. So normalize to minus 18, apply, okay? It looks like this. The problem with this type of normalization is that oftentimes it's peak normalization. So if you have one stray guitar hit, let's say like this guy right here, this is noticeably louder than, let's say, what's going on down here. It's going to set this very tip of this amplitude right here, this one little spiky guy, actually this little guy right here, who's all the way down here, it's going to set that to minus 18. So the overwhelming majority of your DI track will actually be lower than minus 18. So it's not a consistent way of doing it. What probably makes the most sense in this case, if you do want to do some sort of normalization, is to, instead of normalizing it by peak, normalize it maybe in terms of either loudness or by RMS, or the power of their signal. So if you want to get super scientific about it, your best bet is probably using some sort of like a wave scope. Here I'm using one that's built in a Cubase, and we're probably going to target roughly maybe minus 18 dB full scale for our DI track. We can see that minus 18 dB is right here along this very faint gray line. So we want the meat of the guitar signal to be on average about that. And we're pretty close to that right now. So I would just leave this as is, as a good starting point, and then just dial it up until you find that sweet spot of clarity and aggression. Of course, you might need to make adjustments when you actually have this track in the context of your mix. But if you follow these guidelines, this is going to get you set up for success. So how are you gain staging your amp sims? You just arbitrarily feed your amp sims with whatever DI track you have, or do you normalize it to some average level? And also, do you use the input and output gain features that most amp sims have? Let me know in the comments below. Gain staging within an amp sim is important for consistency and to make sure that we're not feeding too hot of a signal to the amp sim. If chaos and aggression is the goal, that's fine. Just crank that sucker to 11. But if you want clarity and power in your mix, it's a good idea to kind of dial that back to a distortion level that allows you to hear all the different nuance to your guitar playing. I also recommend checking the manual of your plugin to see if the manufacturers give you some guidance for what level to feed your amp sim. After all, they programmed it, right? They should know what that level is. And as a reminder, there's no universal standard here, so you're gonna have to experiment with every single one of your amp sims. I wanna remind you that there's a link in the description to download my free rock and metal mixing cheat sheet. Go and grab that before you go on to the next video. I'm Bobby Balo, the mixing mastering engineer at Raytown Productions, and I'll see you in another video.